Good afternoon. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry I can't be with you in person, but Rosemary asked me if I would make a few comments on my memories and experiences over the years. When Jim Tobin came to the house that Friday, he mentioned from the beginning that something just didn't seem to fit. I mean, to have a child come home a little bit late was not all that uncommon, but somehow with Joni it didn't fit. She was a little young and such a well-behaved child, it didn't seem right. So there was some concern. It certainly, as darkness came, concern even grew. By the following morning, it was nonstop. The panic and concern was starting to come in, and there were concerns that something had happened. Somehow she couldn't get to us. And the response by the leaders, I just want to mention the leadership that day was tireless, dedicated leadership by then police chief, the late Phil Verisco, and the captain of police, the late Bob Schramm, Detective Sergeant Dave Kramer, Officer Tobin, of course, FBI agent Charlie Davis, and of course Special Agent Dick Collier, who was Rosemary's neighbor, and Father Aloysius Conley from St. John's. But most of all was the response of the community. It was exceptional. Literally hundreds of people responding by phone, in person, offering any help, any possible help they could be. We utilized some of them for some light paperwork and some phone calls, but for the most part, they were using small 10 or 12 person search parties, led by a police officer. And that morning we searched this town from start to end. Culverts, old septic systems, wells, garages, anywhere where someone could have fallen into harm and was unable to reach out and get help. And of course, during that time, the Bergen County prosecutor's officers were interrogating and interviewing people, and shortly thereafter, we learned the horrible truth, and McGowan was arrested. So in 1987, he gets his first parole review. It was a slam dunk, went nowhere, of course, but there were 3 more to come. 3 more opportunities for Rosemary to relive the horror, the anguish of that weekend. And in 1993 was McGowan's second review. And it's ironic because in 1993, things started to happen that McGowan and those of his ilk could not foresee. First of all, in September of 93, we sat vigil right across the street in that park over there, and it was the start of Jones Joy Foundation. Shortly thereafter, a couple of years later, I was honored to stand with Rosemary, other law enforcement and legislators at the county jail in Hackensack when Governor Whitman signed Jones Law. But that was only the beginning. Federal statute in 1998, Justice for Victims Act in 2000, New York State law in 2004, currently followed by something called Paula's Law, currently pending as we speak. Rosemary's room at the Bergen County Prosecutor's Facility. All of these actions had 2 tremendous effects. One, eliminating the reliving and the anguish of these incidents at these parole hearings. The other did away with the dreams of those like McGowan. Of course, he was exempted from these laws, but those like him, their dreams of parole were finished, were vanished. You might even say that those dreams died in prison, just like McGowan did. In 2014, we had the White Butterfly Garden created. The stone was put, and then the celebration, again supported by local people, the craftsmen who actually did the work, and the outpouring of the community once again. Just recently, we had the book signing again, a successful endeavor, again supported by the community. And I know I've used that term community several times, and it brings to mind a comment that Rosemary made to me over the phone a couple of weeks ago. She said, Frank, this is not about me and not about any individual. This is all about the community. It's always been the people. And that's true again today. Look around. Look who's standing next to you, sitting next to you. Members of the community, this community, our community, a strong community that I've always been so proud to be a part of. You know, when I was police chief, I used to tell my officers, when you're out on your patrol, you never know the effect you have on people. Perhaps a minor accident on a street corner is about to turn into a fight and someone be injured, but no, they don't do that because the police car comes by. Perhaps a youngster intent on some mischief changes his mind because the police car just went by. An elderly couple look out the window and say, oh, the police are in our neighborhood. They feel secure and safe. So you never know who you've affected and in what way. This is no different. All these laws and all these efforts through Rosemary and the community, we don't know how many people have been saved from reliving the anguish. We don't know how many have been educated, mentored, if you will, given hope. We don't know how many. Hundreds, probably thousands. We'll never know. Rosemary, I want to thank you for the privilege and honor of speaking here today. I want to thank all of you who are here as part of this community. I salute you for that. I'd just like to say, from my heart, I know when Joan appears at Rosemary's bedside in the middle of the night, she says, I'm sorry I had to leave you, but we're doing good, Mom. We're doing good. Thank you.